this is my first night in Benidorm. I got robbed and I nearly got my throat cut. Here's the story. Must have been in Benidorm a few months at this point, and I was with my pal. My pal come over with me, Paul. And we met another matey there. We was actually staying at his mum and dad's villa for a little bit. Jason, he was the matey in the other stories. And we decided one night, let's go and check out Benidorm. Had no clue about anything. And only heard good things about it, to be honest with you. That's the place to go. So we jumped in a cab and we were standing out here at this point. So if you know out here, it's about, I don't know, a couple of miles outside of Benidorm. So we jumped in his cab. He took us to the English Square. So we jumped out English Square. Never been to anything like this in my life. And you know, as you know, all the English mateys who were selling all that, you know what I mean, all that one, everything you want, they come up to you and ask whether you want it. The only thing that they never had was that. And I've been in Spain now for a while, and I couldn't get none of that for some reason. Because it's the first night on there, you know, we get a little bit of that. And we're drinking, so at this stage we're fucked up in the Hypnodrome. And it's a rowdy old place anyway, if you know that square. Kicking off left, right and centre. And you've got to be careful as well, because the bouncers, I was actually in prison with one of the bouncers who killed a Geordie lad on that strip. So you just box clever when you're out in the English Square in Benidorm. But so we come out of the club and I'm fucked. And we walk out down to the bottom of the square, and I think it's Chaplin's. And this Spanish lad is sat on the wall. And he goes, "Hey, ¿quieres?" And he pulled out this big bud of guan, yeah? And my eyes lit up. I was like, I want that. How much? And he wanted 30 euros for it, and I only had 50 euros. And at this point, when I'm bartering with the fella, my other two mates have gone in Chaplin's to go to the toilet. So I'm bartering with this fella. I want that bud, what he's got. I'll give him the 50 euros, think nothing of it. I thought, this fella on his own, what's he gonna do? He ain't gonna rob me. He ain't gonna be able to do nothing. There was nothing to him, anyway. You know what I mean? And I've had a couple of drinks and a couple of them, you know what I mean? So he weren't about to do shit, and I didn't really give a fuck. I was getting my money regardless. So he said he's got the change in his car, and his coche, was on the otra calle, so on the other street. So I was following him up the road. As I'm following him up the road, he gets to the corner and he meets up with one of his other mates. Now I'm walking with two of them. And then out of the blue, Paul and Jason come running up going, Rick, what the fuck are you doing? Where are you going with these cunts? Where are you going? I was like, I'm getting my money. Look, he's giving me that. He owes me 20 euros. Yeah, he owed me 20 euros. So I'm going to get my money. So I'm following him. As we get to another corner, he meets up with another two fellas. So now it's 4 v us 3. And they were very smart about it, these fellas. All Spanish. And Jason had a bottle on him. And one of them was sort of like befriending Jason at the back as we were walking up. And he said, my car up here. I still didn't give a fuck at this point. I was that intoxicated. And the one who was befriending Jason said, oh, can I have a little sip of the drink? So he took the drink, just threw the bowl, because there was a weapon there, you know what I mean? So literally, as we got to the end of this road, I could have pinpointed exactly where it was to this day. Like that, it happened. I just see in front, I see Paul get hit, bang, and he's gone to the floor like that, and these two are on top of him, and they cut him straight across there. And Paul's got my rings on, my jewellery on, and they're trying to fucking rip his fingers off to get my rings off him. And I was like, oh my God. And as I'm seeing that happen, out of the fucking blue, I've got a mate, he's gone from the fucking back like that, and he's put a fucking knife right up to my windpipe. And I've got a mate in front of me, and he's screaming, "Dami dinero! Dami tu dinero!" And I was like in shock, bruv, because I was like, if I move, he's gonna cut my throat. So I was just like, I was in shock, mate. I didn't know what to do, and he was just, "Give me my money, give me the money, like that." And I didn't give it to him because I was in shock, didn't know what to do, because I didn't want to move, mate, because he had it so fucking, whatever the fuck he had pressed up in, whether it was a knife or something fucking sharp, he had pressed up against my windpipe. And yeah, so I was in total shock. He ripped my jeans all the way, the pocket all the way out to get my wallet out. And those two ran off. No, and as they're doing that, I'm seeing Jason in front in total shock. He don't know what the fuck to do. So I went, "Jason, run!" So Jason fucking ran, you know what I mean? I was just making sure he was safe at this point. But it all happened so quick. Yeah, so as soon as they got my wallet, they fucking done one with my wallet. And I did have about 350 euros in there at the time. So they've done me for quite a bit of dough there, to be fair. But then, as they've run off into the wilderness, I'm still seeing these two fucking up Paul on the floor, trying to get my rings off him, fucking him up. So I just ran over, man, as fast as I could. I thought, I'm getting one swing off here, and it's going to be the best swing ever. And I fucking went bop like that and popped this geezer, mate, and just flattened him on the floor and grabbed hold of Paul, come on, mate, come on, like this, and fucking Paul. I'm trying to kick these cunts off and like run with Paul. Oh, mate, I was running for our life, mate. And yeah, man, and then they gave up the chase, and then I pulled Paul into this, like, the bar, this nearest bar, man, and he's just sicking his guts up, mate, out of the adrenaline. And yeah, that was my first night in Benidorm. But listen, it don't need to be like that, because you don't do drugs. Just don't fuck with anybody trying to sell you drugs in Benidorm. I know it feels, I mean, it's shit anyway, you know, it's all bullshit. So it ain't even worth it, man. So don't do what I done. Just be careful. Don't get in no trouble or fighting in Benidorm, bruv. Because you're going to end up in Alicante the next morning. Yeah? First of all, you're going to be put in the holding cells, which are way worse than anything with fucking Foncalent. I can assure you of that. You're going to be put in them for about 3 or 4 fucking days. Maybe longer. They are worse, brother. You know, so just be careful. Don't do no drugs. Don't buy no drugs off of no motherfucker when you're in the English Square or anywhere out there, bruv. Just be careful. And listen, don't get in trouble. And yeah, just be careful when you go to Benidorm.